Importance of justice in our societies. We can have a lot of values disappear from our lives, but there is truly only one value that will always remain the core of a functional society, and that is the value of justice. Without justice, there is no connection between people. Without justice, there is no trust between people. And without justice, there can be no legitimate progress in society. We are talking about individual justice. Being just creates trust. And sometimes to understand the term, we will need direly to bring its exact opposite. And in this case, it is oppression. If we talk about individual oppression, I believe it will help us define individual justice better. To repay an oppression done to you once is just. To repay it twice is unjust, and it becomes oppression. In other words, to do twice the evil done to you becomes oppression. In our journey in becoming enlightened and just individuals, we should take particular care in not falling into the trap of becoming oppressors. Of all the virtues, becoming a trustworthy individual and someone who is known as just will have an effect on society. Imagine a place where every single person is a liar and deceives in transactions and hurts others secretly behind their back. What would a place like this become? And the real question would be whether you would still continue living in that place. Therefore, it is clear that avoiding becoming an oppressor will deem us to be just. And justice should be practiced and praised, for it is praiseworthy to be known as a trustworthy person. I would like now to give an example of justice from an old story. There was a man who hired someone to cultivate his land, and they had agreed for a particular amount of payment as a compensation for the work done. When this man had finished cultivating the land, something urgent came up and he had to leave immediately. He could not find the person who had hired him, so he left for the place where his urgency was. When the man who had hired him returned, he got the news of the urgency of the matter and the disappearance of his employee. So what he decided to do was to buy a piece of land and a couple of sheep with the money that was to be paid to his employee as a wage. So when his employee would return, he would make sure that this payment would be returned to him immediately as the land and the sheep. As few years had passed, the sheep multiplied and became many. The employee returned after a few years to remind the man of his debt for the work he had done. And the man told him, "When you left, I bought this land and some sheep, so all this land and the sheep in it are yours." The man said, "It can't be, they are too many." The other man replied, "No, it was initially all for you, and the sheep multiplied over the years, so it's all yours." And the man took the land and the sheep as his payment. So justice is the last virtue in society that has to be guarded with eagerness. For if the last virtue is lost, there can be no peaceful living within society. I hope that this has benefited you and that you will intend to be just and to preserve individual justice.